to fight. I don't need weapons. I am the weapon. Final crash! Final crash! Final crash! Live to fight. Final crash. Final crash. I don't need weapons. I am the weapon.
crash. Final 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 crash.
Oh, the Yuzu devs, yeah. That's a hot mess if I ever saw one. How you doing, Alvi? Maybe I'll live to see Nintendo actually port the PC, and then watch the piracy plummet. They're not smart enough to do that. They're too proud of their shit hardware. Can you take a hint from your competitors and how they actually put stuff on PC now? No, I don't want to play on your shitty tablet. I'm sorry. If your tablet could run games at above 30 FPS or even 20, maybe I would still want to play games on it, but that's increasingly becoming not the case. Got motion sickness from some of those games, man. Age of Calamity made me motion sick. It ran at like 15 FPS. Couldn't do it. Had to stop playing. Why people pirate our products. Wonder why they pirate our products when we don't put it on a good platform. And as soon as it's not relevant anymore, you can't buy the games anymore. I wonder why people do that. I wonder why people want to pirate or use Yuzu for Tears of the Kingdom. Like maybe because it runs at like barely 30 FPS, sub-native HD. Just a hunch. Normies are starting to care more about frame rate now.
I live to fight.
Says a lot that I've had games running like up to 4 times better on Yuzu, legally buying them by the way, and dumping them myself, than actually playing on the Switch.
I don't need weapons. I am the weapon.
Switch is a piece of crap. Just has good games on it. But now that the Steam Deck and the Legion Go and the ROG Ally exists, it's like, yeah, I can kind of see why. Care about that now. I personally find the fact that they claim that like, I don't know, 1 million people pirated Tears of the Kingdom. How do you get that information? How do you dictate that? Like, I'm sure that number is probably pretty accurate, but how can you exactly claim that that's why you're going after Yuzu? Because, I mean, there's plenty of places to get that stuff. There's just straight websites, there's torrents, and people are sharing from, you know, friends' libraries and stuff. So, I don't know how they have an exact number like that. It was the same thing when Napster, I don't know if people remember, or old enough to remember Napster, they said the same thing, like, oh, these kids have illegally downloaded this 30 million times. I'm like, well, how do you exactly know? They're not all getting it from Napster. And then there's always they always go back to this. It's like, do you know those people are going to buy it in the first place? Like,
I live to fight.
I think the problem with Nintendo mostly is just that like none of their stuff is on a platform that lasts more than 6 to 7 years tops. So there's no other way to play that stuff, and they do such a poor job of preserving their history. I know it's really popular to hate on Nintendo, but man, they've made some of the best games of all time. Nobody in their right mind can deny that, no matter how contrarian they are. But they do a terrible job of preserving it. You know how much money they would make if they put Pokemon on PC? Even just like stuff like Mario 64. They had like an upscaled Mario 64 with like mod support and unlocked frame rate. That would make a killing. Instead, they shut down the people who did the source port. I'm like, well, you're not providing an alternative. What do you expect people to do? They made the Super Mario 3D All-Stars or whatever it was called, and then they just kind of arbitrarily stopped selling that. Like, why? They're ancient games. Anybody who's serious about wanting to play that game, you know, you don't even need a console anymore. You can do it on a phone. Your phone can run that game. It takes a couple minutes. And admittedly, having to spend money on a controller to at least play it halfway decent, but you don't even need a console. And Nintendo was such a huge part of my childhood that as I got older, I kind of started to hate them. I think that, like, Sega going third-party and porting to other platforms would have been a wake-up call for them, but they've gotten too complacent in their success. They're managing to beat out their competitors financially with the worst hardware just because they have such strong franchises. You think that maybe you would want to expand, but Nintendo's always been really stuck in the 80s. You can't even message anybody on the Switch. You guys know that? You used to be able to send friends messages and stuff. You can't even do that. The Switch is very bare bones. The fact that they charge for online, at least it's affordable, but it really is a crap deal compared to the competitors. You have like party chat and all that other stuff. None of that on the Switch. It's the bare minimum. Somehow they need to charge money for it. I'd argue none of them should be charging money, but they all kind of accepted that with Xbox Live, and now everybody's got to do it.
To fight.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't touch upon either, is the fact that it takes them like months to put like 2 ROMs in an emulator. But then people pirating ancient games that you can't even buy anymore is like this cardinal sin. You can't even buy them! That's the thing about the NSO Classic that really sucks, is that they adopted the whole PS Plus thing where you can't actually buy the product. Even PS Plus is better to a degree, because PS Plus is like, you know, yeah, if you subscribe to it for years, you probably have like 100 games, and if you stop paying the bill, then you can't have access to them. But you have the option to buy them. Like, hey, you know, if they put it on sale with PS Plus for $20, then you know you own it, and you have access to it for as long as the console is going to be relevant. And so you don't have that. You have to keep paying the bill. Like, I'm sorry, a ROM is not worth that much money. I think a lot of the problem as well with NSO is, like, not entirely their fault, which is A lot of games people grew up with on the old Nintendo platforms are like licensed, and they can't get them back. Like them having GoldenEye is like a huge deal. GoldenEye was like kind of never really thought to ever be on there because of that exact problem. The rights for that game were a mess, but lots of other stuff is never going to see the light of day on there. Either because they can't get the license or they don't want to pay
I
it.
don't need weapons. I am the weapon.
I think it's really apparent when they can't secure a good license when they put like some of the stuff on the NSO Super Nintendo thing is like really bad. They're like probably not games that people would really think of right away. They do have a vast majority of like, you know, the best games that were first party, and then they have a couple decent third party ones, but they'll update with like, what's a good example of like a mid-tier game that's like not bad, but not the kind of thing you'd even really scramble to play even if you just had an emulator. I haven't looked at their lineup in a while, but they definitely have a couple games like that. I think Brawl Brothers is a good example. The fact that they have Brawl Brothers on there is very random. Brawl Brothers is not a bad game, but, you know, like, most people would prefer, realistically, they would prefer Turtles in Time or Final Fight 3. Now, to be fair, Turtles is on the Cowabunga collection, so you can play that if you want, but I think most people would prefer Final Fight 3 realistically over Brawl Brothers. It's not anyone's first choice. N64 is also going to have that problem too, because the N64 already doesn't have that many good games. N64 has barely any games at all, really. For ones that they can release outside of Japan, there's what, like 300 something games, and then you subtract. There's at least a couple dozen sports games, and then a bunch of stuff they can't bring back. I feel like promising N64 games is gonna really hit them hard later. Because it's like, what can you really offer? You can offer, you know, the big main games like Smash and Zelda and Mario, but then, like, there's not much else. And I know this because I had an N64. N64 was the last console I had for Nintendo before I branched out. And branched out to Sega and Sony. That console would go months with nothing to play. I don't know how they plan to address that. You kind of can't, really. N64 has, like, maybe 20, 30 games worth playing. Maybe a little bit more if you have a lot of patience and a really, like, elevated taste. There's not that many. I don't know how they plan to keep that going, because they're going to run out of games really quick. Super Nintendo is just a whole other problem. Super Nintendo is like, there's a lot of stuff that's licensed that they can't get back. And then also, Well, Super Nintendo has like probably like 30% of the library or more is Japan only. So they can't get those games back either, and then even those games have like licensing issues and stuff that make it hard to like bring it back. And Super Nintendo was like probably the library I would say that if you only played games from your country and you didn't live in Japan, you missed out on a lot of stuff. There's like way more Japanese exclusives on Super Nintendo than any other Nintendo platform. The GBA might come close, but barely. I feel like most of the good GBA games actually did make it out of Japan, but Super Nintendo in particular, there's hundreds. There's hundreds of really good games that never came out over here. Alright, let's see what I'm going to do next. I'm not able to get a game going and a run going in Streets. What else we got here?
来ましたか。いつかあなたに会えなくなったら寂しくなるかも。なんでも任務がありますので出発しましょう。
I don't know. Personally, the N64 was when I stopped being a Nintendo kid, because having that thing as a kid was terrible because it just had no games. N64 is a really disjointed library because yes, it does have like some of the most influential and important games of the entire medium, but that's almost all it has. Third-party support took a huge dump. When you consider that there's like 800, there's like something like 800, 900 North America released Super Nintendo games, and then there's like several hundred more that were Japan only. The N64 has like less than 400 total. And there's very few worth playing. Outside of first party and like second party like Rare. There's some stuff like Mischief Makers and like Castlevania 64, which I would argue are worth playing, but I don't know. Castlevania 64 is probably aged like dirt. I haven't played it since it came out, but yeah, I wouldn't be super amped up to play that again, that's for sure. GBA is going to be the exact same problem. GBA's got the combo of, what's it called? There's a lot of licensed stuff that was actually not bad, like, a good example is Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. No way they can get that game back. That's like one of the best games on the GBA that a lot of people didn't play. No way they can get that back. That's never coming back. But then the GBA also has a lot of Japan exclusive games too. They're already kind of doing that as it is with the whole like some stuff is exclusive and some stuff isn't. Where's Cursed Waves? There it is. No, I'd say the N64 was the worst console I had from, the worst console I had from Nintendo, by far. That library is... It's good for the games people remember it for, but outside of that, there's, like, barely even any hidden gems. There's a couple, like Mischief Makers. I thought Castlevania 64 was pretty good for its time, but it's probably aged really bad. Like, I wouldn't be, like, super hyped to play that. I would like to play Mischief Makers again, but... Castlevania 64, I think I was better off, being in my memory. Pretty much any of those games I couldn't really play anymore because my eyes are too used to 60 FPS and higher now. I can't really barely play 30 FPS games anymore. I try to play a 30 FPS game and my eyes are like, what are you doing to me, man? You got a 144 Hertz 165 Hertz esports monitor. What the hell are you doing to me? My eyes totally do that. Age of Calamity was definitely the worst it's been, though. That game actually made me feel nauseous. I had to stop playing it. .20 FPS, fast-paced gameplay just ain't it, man. Can't do it. Guys here, speaking of frame rate, I was looking at Dragon's Dogma 2 PS5 gameplay, and it barely runs at 30 FPS. We're finally getting actual PS5 games, like current gen games, and they still don't run at 60. Fucking dire, man. The graphics don't even look that great. Like, I don't understand how they don't have a performance mode. I wonder how the PC port's gonna be like. I haven't even really played the first one, so I don't have any real excitement for that game, but if I did play that game, it'll probably be like when it's on sale, or if it has like good mods or something. I'm also just at the point where I just like don't want to buy any computer games. I don't want to buy any PC games until somebody who has more money tests them and make sure that they actually work. Because these past couple... Last year was just horrendous to be into PC gaming. Like, you know, the content creators that make thousands a month can, they can be the guinea pigs on that. I don't have a lot of money, as we all know, so... I'll let them test that. They can be the guinea pigs. Well, DMC reboot was Unreal Engine 3 on 7th gen hardware. There's no way that that was going to run well. It's just that they made the mistake of making it seem like people were stupid for wanting a better frame rate. There's that whole thing where they said that the game was supposed to feel like it was 60 FPS. The feel of 60 FPS. I'm like, what kind of marketing bullcrap is that? What does that even mean? It's either it's 30 FPS or it's 60. If you can't target it, it's fine. But don't fucking gaslight people. That's what they did with the marketing to that game. It's the feel of 60 FPS. Like, no, it's not, man. It felt like playing through mud. It's literally half as smooth as every other DMC game that was released at the time. You can't just say it feels like 60. It doesn't. I think the ironic thing was, like, the PC port was, like, perfect. For, like, a day one PC port, I think that port was day one. It was actually, like, really good. It's similar to Tales of Arise, where like the game itself is really divisive, but the PC port was really good. Like, Tales of Arise and DMC Reboot are like love it or hate it games. Either you like it or you don't. But you never hear anyone complain about the PC port. The port for DMC Reboot was really good. You could get it running better than PS3 with pretty decent hardware at the time. You didn't need the best stuff available. Just like Tales of Arise, the game is really well optimized. So the game itself is not for everybody, but they actually took the PC port seriously. And I think both of those games deserve credit for that, even though they're both very divisive changes of the formula. At least you could buy the damn thing and it actually worked at launch, and there were no problems. You can't say that so much anymore, can you?
ここに宣告します。これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。
シミュレーション完了。あなたたちの時間は僕が制する。気を抜くのはまだ早すぎます、指揮官。
早期期間熟成開始。平成無駄です。さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。終幕です。さあ永遠に眠りなさい。早期理科期間熟成開始。なんだ遅すぎます。さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。
もう逃げ場はありませんよ。あなたと僕の視界からは逃れられま。あなたの生存確率はゼロです。気を抜くのはまだ早すぎます、指揮官。
Yeah, the feel of 30 FPS. What a joke that was. Like it feels like 30 FPS. I'm like, no, it feels. It said it feels like 60. I'm like, no, it doesn't, man. It's like marginally better than playing Ocarina of Time, which is a way slower paced game. It doesn't necessarily need a high frame rate. The feel of 60 FPS. What kind of baloney is that? Like, just say we're targeting 30 FPS. At least they're more honest about it now. Back then they weren't. I'll take transparency even if it doesn't run the way it should. Over telling people they need to get their eyes checked because it's supposed to feel like 60. Especially DMC of all things, which is pretty much always ran at 60 FPS. All major titles anyway. Even the Switch version of the DMC trilogy runs great. Those ports are actually not bad. I'd argue with the mod that I show on my kitty sitting stream that the Steam Deck version of those games is still better, but you know, if you don't have a Steam Deck, those ports are not bad at all. It's not gonna give me alpha, is it? Getting screwed. Alright, get your cat jams ready.
理科熟睡開始停止無駄です
ターゲットロックオン。
さあ終焉の光を与えましょう悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します
シミュレーション完了。僕の視界からは逃れられませんよ。大したことじゃありません。ターゲットロックオン。最大化。
元気いっしゃいこれがナナミの最強の切り札だよそう理科停戦ダンス遅すぎますさあ終焉の光を与えましょう悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します沈め海の底に終幕ですさあ永遠に眠りなさい早期理科機関熟睡開始絶対に許しませんさあ終焉の
When
光
was the last time I turned on my Switch to actually play a game
悪夢の終わりを
and not just dump a ROM? I honestly can't remember. That'd be over a year ago.
あなたたちの視界は
Because I got the Steam Deck from the sponsorship around this time last year. I have not played anything on it. I turn it on, I buy the game, I dump it. I dump my save if I did play it before, and then I turn it off. And it doesn't get used again until there's another game to play. Because it's baffling how easy it is to, how easy it is to make a game run better than the Switch. It takes no effort. Shin Kamen Rider Rumble, for instance. I dumped that game. I guarantee I must have had that game before any of the pirates did. I had it running at... Albeit it was stuttering because of Unity, but... It was running above 60 FPS, like, less than an hour before it came out. Or after it came out.
終焉の光を与えましょう
Like, dude, I'm not playing this at 30 FPS, man. I'll support the developers, but I don't want to play on that bad
もう
hardware.
逃げ場はありませんよ。あなたたちの時間は僕が制する。
敵の隙を作ります
あなたの生存確率はゼロです。
I think it's funny that they're going after Switch now when it's like A at the end of its lifespan and B, if the emulation definitely takes place as fast as it did with the Switch, there's not going to be as many people using it just because the hardware is going to be a lot harder to emulate. We've already seen that they can emulate the games on Switch, like on a phone by now. You can already play them on the phone better than the Switch, which is pathetic. I've done it myself. I dumped my copy of Jitsu Squad, and it ran better on the phone than on the Switch. A phone that came out 4 years ago. Let that sink in, how bad that situation is. That's dire. That's really dire. The 4-year-old gaming phone can run Jitsu Squad better
理解
than the Switch itself.
出戦開始
Granted, that's like not the most intensive game, for sure, but it is a good example of how easy it is.
終焉の光を
Pass that hardware with what's currently available. Doesn't cost much.
悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します
I think some of the higher phones can actually run Tears of the Kingdom better than the Switch too, but that's like, I think you need a pretty good phone for that.
理解帰還粛清開始平静無駄ですさあ終焉の光を与えましょう悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します平静無駄です絶対に許しません
あなたたちの時間は
気をつけます
気を抜くのはまだ早すぎます指揮官。
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. There she is. Party time. Party time. Alright, now this is gonna be a complete curb stomp. So I have Bianca and Crimson Weave. They're both... Well, Crimson Weave's not triple S. I'll have to wait for another Doom. Alright, you're getting out of here. Where's Homegirl? There we go.
次に向かうわ。この勝利は終幕ではないわ。早急理解帰還熟成開始。決戦偉大さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。ダンス遅すぎます。全力で勝手より解かれる力我が刃と化せ。歯ごたえ敵の気をつけます。無駄な抵抗はやめなさい。生死を分けて歯ごたえ敵の気をつけます。宿命の風は私が断ち切る。風より解かれる力我が刃と化せ。生死を分けるのは一瞬ね。手加減の可能。さあ終焉の光を与えましょう。悪夢の終わりをここに宣告します。ダンス遅すぎます。
気を抜くのはまだ早すぎます指揮官。
Sound glitches out. This patch is, as DSP would say, has a lot of bugged game mechanics. The frame rate messes up, the sound, like, doubles sometimes. It's really cursed. I don't know why it's like that. Sometimes DSP is right. I don't know what it is, but that update is, like, extremely buggy. Been like a couple weeks as well. They haven't like pushed a hotfix. I'm like, aren't you making enough money off Crimson Weave to like, you know, maybe push a hotfix? I know you're raking in the big bucks. Like, can you speed up the hotfix, please, so the game doesn't freak out like that all the time? Just a hunch, just a little hint there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I should tell people I did get the power supply, so a friend of mine is gonna hopefully help me install that tomorrow, and that should fix everything. Meaning, streams and recordings being laggy sometimes if I play like really intensive stuff like Relink and Gaiden at 120 FPS, even though on my end it was fine. My USB ports like haven't been working either, so. I'm hoping that it's not the motherboard. If it is the motherboard, then we're gonna have to do some kind of fundraiser or something. But it seems like it's just the power supply. So I do have that in my room right now. I just don't have the expertise to install it. So I hope my buddy will be able to help me out. I was gonna buy him lunch or dinner. And we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and see you guys later, everybody. Kind of been under a lot of stress, so I don't really feel like doing a whole lot on the channel right now until I know that the computer is okay, and then I should be one weight off my shoulders at least. But there's There's nothing really going on right now anyway. I'm not playing any hot new games. I mean, right now it's FF7 Rebirth and Dragon's Dogma 2 are like the big ones, and Dragon's Dogma 2 looks like something I might like, but given how poorly it runs on current gen consoles, and the fact that I haven't played the first one for more than like 2 hours, that's definitely not something I'd buy at launch. So yeah, I'm just playing random stuff anyway. I'm not expecting anything I do to go viral or to make a lot of money or anything. So I think it'll be better to stream more often when the computer is not like freaking out. So hopefully that will be by this time tomorrow, but it's going to depend on a number of factors. Firstly, whether my friend can come and install the power supply, and secondly, if that actually fixes the issue. And I don't know if either of those things are going to happen. So stay tuned to my Discord and community posts, and if you see a test stream tomorrow, it'll probably be on the new power supply, but I should be able to test without needing anybody to come in here and watch me fight with technical stuff, because it's very easy to diagnose. If my USB ports work again, it's the power supply, and then also if I can record Relink and Gaiden at 120 FPS with no lag, then I know that it's fixed. So I'll see you guys later, everybody. Good night. Sorry for the short stream. I don't really feel like pushing it too hard. I've been under a lot of stress, so thanks for understanding. Hopefully tomorrow things will be back to